American South. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe!
Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Time of recording. It is late in the night of Thursday, July 25th. I just finished watching a handful of SDCC videos. They're 3 hours behind us. That's why I'm so late recording this. And I know I said I wasn't really going to discuss SDCC too much because there's so many videos out there of it right now that there's so many people that are there that are actually talking about it. However, they did the G.I. Joe panel. I saw some things. Of course, the HasLab went up today. And there's just a lot that came out of the G.I. Joe video that they put up. And I'll put a link to the Hasbro Pulse video in the description below. That I just wanted to talk about some things because there was a lot that came out of G.I. Joe today. Not a lot, but there was enough interesting newness that came out of the G.I. Joe panel today that I wanted to talk about. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the Once a Man Cobra Commander. Now, at the beginning of the day, today being Thursday, at the beginning of the day, Once a Man Cobra Commander and the classic Death's Head from Marvel Legends were both on the Hasbro Pulse website. And they just said coming soon. And then around, I want to say noon Eastern time, they were taken away entirely. And some people were upset because they thought that meant that the figure had sold out already. They didn't know it had gone up for sale. I don't think it ever did go up for sale. What I think happened was Death's Head and Once a Man Cobra Commander are both being sold as SDCC exclusives. They're being sold at SDCC. And I think they were taken down from the website because I don't think they were supposed to be up on the website immediately. Because just like we know how they've handled San Diego Comic-Con exclusives before, they sell at the convention. And then whatever is left over, they will put up on Pulse for sale. And I just think that that's the reason that they were both taken down fairly early. That I don't think they were supposed to go up. I think they're just being sold at the con, at the convention, exclusively right now. And then when the convention is over, they'll go up on Pulse at some point. Now, they have always, in the past anyway, had enough product that they've been able to offer. They've been able to offer it on the Pulse website. For as much as Hasbro orders, I don't believe they're going to sell out at the convention despite the huge crowds they get at the convention. I feel comfortable for myself that these are going to be available on the Pulse website after SDCC is over. And truthfully, I'm more excited about Death's Head than I am the Once a Man Cobra Commander. I'll probably still get Once a Man if there's enough left over when they go up for sale, but I'm just not excited about it. And unfortunately, that seems to be the prevailing feeling I have for a lot of the big releases. I'm actually more excited about a lot of the stuff that's going on pre-order tomorrow, today, the time you're probably watching this, but tomorrow, time of recording, Friday the 26th, there's a lot of stuff going up for pre-order. Let's just say that. That and a lot of the reveals I was actually more excited about than their big releases, like their convention exclusives, their PulseCon exclusive, and even the HasLab foreshadowing. So I just wanted to get that out of the way about the Once a Man Cobra Commander. Also, with Walmart Collector Con starting today, time of recording, the Night Force 2-pack is still available with Flint and Quarrel. I think I was calling her Quiver in the last video, but Flint and Quarrel Night Force 2-pack is available. It is sold out on Pulse. I believe it's sold out like within an hour or so on Pulse, but it is still available on the Walmart website for pre-order if you still want to pick up one of those for yourself. Now, let's get on to what they were discussing at Comic-Con. That there were some name-only reveals, and there were a few name-only reveals that I was kind of excited about, and there were a few name-only reveals that I was kind of like, eh. And unfortunately, the first one we're going to talk about, their first name-only reveal, I was kind of eh on, is Heavy Duty. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Heavy Duty has a huge following. There's a lot of people that really, really like Heavy Duty. He never really did anything to me. Taking a look at this picture, I think it's because even as a kid with the vintage line, I was never really into like these gimmick weapons. Truthfully, that's why I haven't bought Heavy Metal yet, because like just wearing all of these rocket packs was kind of ridiculous to me. I'm probably going to get Heavy Metal now that the Iron Grenadiers are being built out, and like I want Heavy Metal for the Iron Grenadiers. But let's get on to this. Heavy Duty right here, that big box with the rockets and the Gatling gun and everything, like that's just so ridiculous to me. And who knows, maybe in the Classified line they'll do something that they'll update that look, that weapon, that it won't be quite as gnarly as that. But as is, I'm not overly excited about it. Although, if you are a fan of Heavy Duty, I completely get why you would be happy about this. I know he has a big following. The other one is Law and Order. I did not have him in the vintage line. I missed out on him when I was a kid. I did always want him. I like the idea of the Joes having an MP, especially like around the pit. And it's another, human pet type situation. Hasbro has been killing it with their animals, especially the Classified line has been killing it with their animals. And anytime they do like a person pet combo, that's really cool. I really like that. Kills me I haven't gotten Mutton Junkyard yet, but there is another, figure pet 2-pack that we're going to be talking about tonight, and that will be coming up. The next 3 name-only reveals are actually retro cards, and one of these I'm kind of excited about, and 2 of them I think it's a really good idea. The first retro card name-only reveal is Rock and Roll, a classic Rock and Roll. Now, I really like the Classified version of Rock and Roll. I really do. I like the new outfit, the tan and the greens. I like the tattoos. I like the new helmet. I like everything about the Classified Rock and Roll. But the retro one I feel is going to be really cool. But I feel like it's basically just going to be the Classified. They'll just completely green his bodysuit out. He'll still have all the same accessories. And they'll probably take the tattoos off of him and probably get rid of, the horns hand, that he has in the Classified line. But I think that's a really cool idea. I'll probably be picking that one up. And then next was a retro card Dr. Mindbender. And this is a great idea because the first Dr. Mindbender that was he the PulseCon or the SDCC exclusive? I think Mindbender was the Comic-Con exclusive and Serpentor was the PulseCon exclusive. But getting a retro card Mindbender was a must. And actually, I feel like it should have happened sooner because the deluxe Mindbender, the boxed set Mindbender with all of the kibble that was the convention exclusive, was really hard to get. And when he did go up for sale on Hasbro Pulse, he sold out very quickly. And then when he went up for sale again on Hasbro Pulse, he sold out very quickly. And for not having a Mindbender in the collection is kind of like a big miss. Mindbender, especially when you get into Serpentor, played a very large part in Cobra lore, whether you're talking about the cartoon or the comic. Even now in the comic, he's still a very powerful voice in Cobra, especially with what's going on now. But I think giving collectors another chance to get a Mindbender, because truthfully, I don't think people who missed out on Mindbender, truthfully, I don't think they really cared about the convention exclusive. I don't think they cared about the deluxe kibble that you got with him, with like all of the laboratory accessories and everything. They just wanted a Mindbender. I really feel like this is a really good idea. I really feel like people just want a Mindbender in their collection. This is a great idea. And the other retro card name-only reveal was the Cobra Viper. Once again, this is a fantastic idea. The original Viper was a Cobra Island exclusive, really hard to get your hands on, especially if you were trying to army build Vipers. And since then, we have other Vipers. There was the Viper 3-pack, and there was the Python Patrol Viper, there was the Crimson Viper, but none of those Vipers were in the classic style, the classic colors of the original Viper, which once again was a Cobra Island exclusive. So being able to offer this in the classic colors, in a retro card, something that's going to be easier to get, something that's going to be easy to army build. It's like the Eel all over again, or the Cobra Trooper now all over again, that this is a great idea for people to be able to fill in that empty spot on their shelf with a just classic looking Cobra Viper. I actually got lucky. I have two Cobra Island Vipers. One I was able to find at Target, and one was gifted to me. So I was very lucky about that. But I have two of the 3-pack Vipers, but I'm gonna like being able to get like this classic looking Viper to like fill out the ranks of the Vipers. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Cobra Troopers here, the Cobra Troopers and the Cobra Officers are always going to be my main army build for Cobra. Those are my favorite looks for Cobra, but like being able to get a retro Viper is going to be really cool. So next, that takes us to the render reveals, that they had some render reveals, and the render reveals were actually pretty cool. I was really excited about this. The first one we're going to talk about is the Cobra Claw with Pilot. And we knew the Claw was coming. Like, as soon as they did things like the Ferret and the Trouble Bubble, and especially like the different versions of the Ram, we knew the Claw was coming. And it comes with a pilot, a female pilot, which I think looks really cool. I really like the red helmet that they get. Really makes them stand out. I think that's a nice touch. Then there's also like the fully enclosed like respirator, oxygen mask head for it, which I think is really cool. This whole thing looks great. I like how they took the front landing gears out of the hand controls and they just gave it 4 sets of landing gears. She can stand up wearing it. It looks really big, and it looks like you don't peg the character into it. It looks like there's actually like a harness system to support the figure while they're in the Claw. And that's really cool too. So I'm really excited about the Claw, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to be army building the Claw, because being a old school comic book reader, to me, there was only one Claw, and that belonged to Storm Shadow. Just saying. But I think that is a really, really cool reveal, and I'm looking forward to that. And we know we're getting the Fang as well. So like, I'll troop build the Fang and just have the Claw just have the Claw for what's his name? Storm Shadow. So there's that. The next render reveal is Leatherhead. Another foot trooper, or like another frontline trooper. He's a Marine. I was never really overly excited about Leatherhead. He was always kind of just another rank and file to me. I know that sounds blasphemous, but like with the time that he was coming out, there were like so many other like interesting figures to me that were being released, and Leatherhead kind of got lost in the mix. I never had him in the vintage line. More than likely, I'm going to pick him up for this line. I do like that he has the assault rifle with the grenade launcher underslung. I think that's really cool. They said he has stubble all around, including down on his neck. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be a funny little touch right there. But I also know there's people that were excited about this, just like there were people that were excited when Footloose was announced as a name-only reveal. And the final render reveal is the one that I'm excited about, the one that I've been waiting for. My man, my hero, my champion, Xandar. The siblings will be complete. Zartan, Zorana, and Xandar. I'm really excited about that. Now all we need is Zartan's daughter. And they said that they wanted to kit him out a little bit more than his vintage line. He still has the pink scarf that they said was kind of ripped off of Zorana's jacket. He has the torso armor, the chest armor, but they said there is going to be detail underneath that. So I'm assuming that means that if you can get that off, he'll have his tattoos underneath, but I think he looks really cool. I'm really excited about getting him for the Dreadnoks. I love that he comes with like his sort of like spear gun right there, continuing that line of like the Dreadnoks just use like Mad Max era firearms and weapons. That is so cool. I'm really digging that. Can't wait to get Xandar. And that takes us into pre-orders. There's actually quite a few pre-orders going up on Friday, today, probably when you're watching, Friday the 26th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So everything we're going to talk about here, until I say otherwise, is going to be up for pre-order 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday the 26th. So the first one we're going to talk about is they are finishing out the 60th anniversary line, and the first one we're going to take a look at is the Marine Sniper. I think this looks really cool. First of all, we were right. She's coming with the Hasbro version of the ghillie suit. So now I have a Gridiron Studios ghillie suit. We have the Valaverse ghillie suit. I'm really curious to see how the Hasbro ghillie suit turns out. And truthfully, the Hasbro ghillie suit looks like it's just something that pulls down. It's just like a complete cover. I'm curious to see how the hood is going to lay, if it's just going to lay or if it's going to be peaked and sort of rise up, because I don't know if concerned is the right word, but I'm wondering if they made this to fit a standard figure, meaning a male figure, whereas the Sniper is a female buck, a female body, that if it's made for the female body, it would be too small to fit over the guys. I don't know. Like, I'm going to be curious to see how that works out, how it fits. In the photos, I think it looks great. In person, I'm waiting to see how it turns out. Now, there's not nearly as much reuse for the figure as I was expecting, but we can see that pretty much all of her gear, minus the ghillie suit, is all reuse. It's all reuse from Low Light. The backpack, the sniper rifle, the sidearm, all of that is reuse. She comes with 2 head sculpts and a couple of different hair options, kind of like how Shooter, you were able to replace the hair instead of the full head. That she comes with a clean face and then like a camo face. She has just hair, just like a hair piece, but then she has like sort of like a sniper rig with like a ball cap, field glasses, and a mic coming down. And then the last one, which is my favorite, and I forget what the name of that hat is that she's wearing, kind of like the same hat that Muskrat wears. I really dig that hat, and that's probably the hat that I'm going to display her with if she's just not going to be outright in the ghillie suit to begin with. I think she looks cool. I'm really excited about getting her, adding her to the line with the other 60th anniversary figures. And I don't know, for some reason, I feel like that sniper rifle works better with her than it did for Low Light. I wasn't real excited about it for Low Light. I don't know why. Like, I just pictured Low Light just having the rifle out and not carrying it in, like, you know, a case and piecing it together. But I'm probably going to end up getting a different weapon for Low Light eventually. But for this, for some reason, I kind of dig it. It kind of works. Of course, though, she's wearing that huge backpack that Low Light came with. So we'll have to wait and see. Also, it looks like her, the SMG, the submachine gun that she comes with, has more detail and paint apps to it than what came with Low Light. So I think that's really cool. I like how the 60th anniversary figures all have like that one piece that kind of makes them stand out. That the diver had the submersible, the infantry trooper, the infantry soldier had like the vest where you could like mix and match pieces and pouches. And this one has the ghillie suit, but then that takes us to the Halo jumper. Boom. And he has a parachute. Yes. They did say in the fan stream that that parachute will fold up, fit into the backpack. There's pictures of it with the parachute deployed and the lines going up to it. So having like a functioning paratrooper in the classified line, I think is really cool. When we heard about the Halo Trooper, I honestly thought it was going to be basically repaint of Ripcord from the Night Force Ripcord that's coming with our Dragonflies. But This looks like it's basically reuse of Airborne. It's a repaint of Airborne with some of Ripcord's gear, and I really like that all camo, that hit and run style all camo face sculpt that he comes with. So this one's cool. Admittedly, not as excited about this one as I am for the Sniper, but you better believe I will be getting both of them. Once again, both of these 60th anniversary figures up for pre-order Friday at 5 p.m. What's the next one we're going to be taking a look at? Oh yeah. Speaking of the Dreadnoks, we got Road Pig. Look at this dude. Look at him. He's a freaking barbarian. At first, I wasn't real excited about Road Pig. Even as a kid, I didn't have Road Pig. The cinder block mallet, for some reason, didn't really do anything for me at the time. But this is cool. This is a great update. This is something that I really like when they do in the Classified, where they sort of take the original and just embiggen it and improve on it. I wish they would do things like this a little bit more with the line and not try and stick so much to that vintage look. But this, I think, is really cool. Yes, he comes with his cinder block mallet, but look at the pig hammer. Look at that thing. That is barbaric. He's a barbarian, and he looks fantastic. He has 2 head sculpts. Apparently, he has gold canines, teeth right there. He's not like ripped and cut. He's a little overweight, a little bit more of like a realistic looking body, which I think is really cool. Dreadnoks tattooed across his torso. That is awesome. And look at the boar's head helmet he has. Look at that. Tell me that putting that boar's head on Road Pig and then giving him the pig mallet, that's not a freaking barbarian right there. He is going to look so wild with the Dreadnoks. I can't wait to get this one. This is definitely one that I'm pre-ordering like right off the bat. He just looks so interesting, and he comes with a pupper. Look at it, this pit bull mix. He has a good boy face and a working boy face. Another pet. This is what I was talking about. Figure and pet combo. I don't think he had the dog as part of the vintage line, but I'm all about him having this. I forget what his name is. It will be here. I can't remember what it's. Road Pig and Rocks or something like that. I can't remember what they named him, but the name is awesome. The dog is awesome. This whole thing going on over here is fantastic, and that is probably my favorite pick of the pre-orders that are going up. The next pre-order, a very close second, which I didn't think I was going to care about, is Raptor. When Raptor came out in the vintage line, it was just some dude in a bird costume with a falcon on his arm. He looked like something out of a circus. They've gone full, like, Spider-Man, Homecoming Vulture look with him, with the wings and the fans and the wings that, like, it's actually a flight suit. Like, that's cool. The vintage figure, I think, like, he had the cape that came out, but I think the idea was that he just glided. It wasn't like an assisted jetpack like this. And the wings are fully articulated, that they can fold in and shield him, which looks awesome. But then Lenny in the video was also saying that, like, the wings will fold up and back so that he can get like that falcon diving pose out of him. Plus he comes with the 2 cat claws for use while he's flying. That really gives him that bird of prey look. I shouldn't be this excited about Raptor, but he looks so cool. He really does. And he got a much needed update, I feel. This is another one where, like, they took an idea from the vintage line and they classified it. They brought it up into the modern world, and like, I shouldn't be this excited about him, but he looks cool, and he's probably another one that I'm going to snag. And then the last pre-order going up tomorrow, time of recording, but today, Friday the 26th, is this 2-pack, the Steel Core and Twilight Guard 2-pack. And Basically, they did this, they were saying that they did this as a way to get the gold helmet into circulation. The body for the steel core officer, the buck, the legs, everything, I can't tell what it's reuse from. I don't doubt that it is reused from another figure. I don't think like that's completely new sculpt. But the body, the buck, everything, including the legs, because if you saw my video about doing the leg swap for the steel core figure, I really hated the legs that came with the original one. This one looks so much better. So much to the point that I might get this, put Hawk back together the way that he's supposed to be after the leg swap, and then just using this for hard deck, my steel core officer, and just give him the standard helmet back, because this one looks a lot better, in my opinion, than the steel core figure we got in that 2-pack. And this is actually a versus 2-pack, steel core versus the Twilight Guard, that the other part of this is the Cobra Twilight Guard, which is an elite version of the Crimson Guard. I am not familiar with the Twilight Guard at all. That kind of caught me off guard. I don't think the Twilight Guard was part of the original vintage line when I was collecting. I think it was something that came out after I finished collecting, like maybe the line that came out in the 90s, Valor versus Venom, maybe. I don't know. But I'm down with this. That looks really cool. I really like the all black. I like the orange, kind of like the Twilight visor right there, and then the Twilight insignia on his shoulder, the cape, all of the gear that this 2-pack comes with. I think the Twilight Guard looks great. The only thing I'm kind of upset about is that I would have liked to have had more than one Twilight Guard, because I have like 4 or 6 Crimson Guards, that having 2 Twilight Guards would have been a really cool touch. But that means we have to buy 2 2-packs, and I get it, that's what they want us to do, and then at least it's an army builder 2-pack. But I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But I'll definitely be getting this because I like the new body for the steel core figure, and I really like the Twilight Guard. Don't know if I'll get more than one, though. That is everything that is going up for pre-order Friday, today, time that you're watching this, probably. So those things, the 260th anniversary figures, Road Pig, Raptor, and the Steel Core versus Twilight Guard 2-pack, all going up for pre-order Friday, July 26th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. There was another item that they revealed at San Diego Comic-Con, and unfortunately, there were no photos of it at the time that they revealed it. If there are any photos of it, I will put them right here. But it was the G.I. Joe Transformers mashup of Sergeant Slaughter and Kupp as the Triple T. That was revealed. Slaughter was there himself to do the reveal. And apparently that's also coming with Leatherhead. So it's going to be Sergeant Slaughter, Leatherhead or Leatherneck? Leatherneck. Leatherhead's from... sorry. Sergeant Slaughter, Leatherneck, and then the Kupp Triple T Transformer. That is going up for pre-order Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Hold on, let me pull up my calendar here. Yeah, it is going up for pre-order Tuesday, July 30th, after Comic-Con, when all of the Transformers stuff is going up for pre-order, and that will be 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So Sergeant Slaughter, Kupp, Leatherneck, Transformers G.I. Joe Mashup Pack, pre-order Tuesday, July 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, if there are any photos, they'll be right here. Sorry if there's not, but they didn't have any either. So what does that take us to next? The PulseCon exclusive, which this is another one where it's like, it's a PulseCon exclusive. They're always very hard to get. This, I feel, is very niche. It's Starduster. We knew Starduster was coming. I don't know if we knew that Starduster was going to be the PulseCon exclusive, but here we are. I don't know how I feel about this. I think this isn't the best PulseCon exclusive that they've had. I feel like this just should have been a standard release. I don't know, it's very niche, although maybe that's why they made it a PulseCon exclusive, that if some people don't get this, they won't, it won't be like when they missed out on Mindbender and Serpentor and all of the other ones that have come, or Chuckles, the Crimson Strike Force, you know what I mean? Like, it's just Starduster. That I can see there being a fan base for him. I can see there being a lot of people that want to get their hands on him, but I can also see that there are people like me that are like, if I get him, I get him. I'm not really worried about it. He was a mail away from the vintage line that you had to get like box tops or proofs of purchase or something off of cereal boxes and send them in. I never got him. So as a nod to that, there's actually a cereal box that he comes with. It's another one that's going to get you a jetpack. Basically, this figure is a lot of reuse. That's another reason why I'm like, convention exclusive. But then again, like the Crimson Strike Force 3-pack was basically all reuse, except for Baroness with the new arms. So, I don't know. I think it's a good idea for a convention exclusive. I think there's a lot of people that will be kind of apathetic about it. If they get it, they get it. If they don't, they don't. Me, personally, I don't even know if I'm going to try. I don't know. I probably will just because it's part of the line. But I don't know, it doesn't really do anything for me. He doesn't really do anything for me. Now, before we get into the HasLab, there was one more thing that they mentioned that they kind of said, this is different for us. There were, you know, there's this cryptic image, and they put this up on the screen. I'll either put it here or I'll just make it the size of the screen. That they put this up and they said that there were hints to this in the next, or for their next reveals. So a funny thing about this picture, while this is the image that they showed in the video, and they did say that this was a cryptic reveal of what was coming up next, kind of like how Marvel Legends gives you a hint as to what's coming out, this is not the picture that they were actually supposed to show. After I recorded this video and during the editing process, I found out that when they said this and did this at the live panel, the image they showed had something to do with two bear claws. So make that of it what you will. I don't have that image to show you, unfortunately, but just know that if you watch the video, the Hasbro Pulse video, and you see this, this isn't the image they were supposed to show. It was supposed to be something to do with like a bear and two claws or something like that. So I just wanted to give some context to this image, that this is the wrong image, and we are still definitely not getting a classified G.I. Joe base. But I don't think they're just going to say, here's the base in 6-inch scale. That would be ludicrous. And speaking of ludicrous, HasLab Rattler. Let's talk. After the last video, I had mentioned what if the Rattler was going to be in the 3 3/4 style to go with the Sky Striker. And the more I started thinking about that, the more I actually wanted that. Because I would have loved to have had an updated 3 3/4 Rattler right there, getting the same treatment that the Sky Striker got, with all of the blast effects, all of the special figures that come with it, the ground crew, the ground equipment, the ball joint flight stand, and then you could set up the Rattler and the Sky Striker kind of banking at each other, getting ready to do that salute like at the end of the comic. But what we got, no surprise actually, is a classified Rattler. And let's talk about it a little bit. So we have the HasLab Classified Rattler. You need 9,000 backers. It's $325. We're going to do some comparison of things as we go down the line, and I'm purposely drawing comparisons to the Dragonfly, and you'll see why in a moment. So the Classified Rattler is $325 at 9,000 backers. The HasLab Dragonfly, I believe, was $275 at 10,000 backers. So they raised the price and lowered the threshold. I don't know why. You know, it's... First of all, let me say, I don't doubt that this is going to fund. It's classified. It's G.I. Joe. It's going to fund. I'm not saying that this is going to tank and it's not going to get funded. At the time of recording, hold on, let me take a look here. At the time of recording, it is already 64% of the way there with 5,718 backers. You can see that graphic right here. Now, this is going up Friday morning, before I post this, I will do a quick update and I will give you the new percentage and number of backers right here. Who knows? Maybe it'll be funded by the morning. We'll have to wait and see. But whatever is right here is the closer to current total just before I upload. So keep that in mind as well. So at the time of recording, 5,718, 64% of the way. Now we're right here. So the Rattler's size, the dimensions, because that was one of the big things that I was looking at. The Rattler is 34.5 inches long, 10 inches tall from the landing, when the landing gear's up, 10 inches tall to the top of the wings, and 32 inches wide from wingtip to wingtip. Now, one thing that this can do, and I even mentioned that I thought this would be a good idea, and they took my advice, but the wings will actually fold so that when you put it on the shelf, the wings will fold up so you're not taking up all that space with a wingspan. So I'm hoping that like the wings will be able to fold and you'll still be able to rotate it into the VTOL position so that the wings will go down along the sides of the fuselage. So when the wings are open from wingtip to wingtip, it's 32 inches wide. When the wings are folded up, it's 15.26, so roughly 15.25 inches wide when the wings are up. Let's compare that to the Dragonfly. The Dragonfly is 34 inches long, okay, and it is 11.3 inches tall from the skids to the top of the rotor, and from wingtip to wingtip, it's 14 inches wide. Something seems wrong there. Hold on, there's probably going to be a jump because I think one of my measurements is off. Okay, yeah, one of my measurements was off. The Rattler is 33.5 inches long, not 34.5 inches, while the Dragonfly is 34 inches long. So the Rattler is 33.5. So it's shorter, it's a little smaller. Like they made a big deal saying that it was like two Dragonflies stacked together, but that's only if you put two Dragonflies side by side. Nose to tail, the Dragonfly is longer. Granted, only a half inch, but it's still longer. And from bottom to top, from bottom to top, it's an inch taller. Yeah, it's an inch and roughly an inch and a quarter taller. So the only place that the Rattler has it is on the width. And those are just the wings, and they're kind of thin. So there's that to think about. So it's a little bit smaller. The threshold is lower, but it's $325. It's like $50 more expensive. Now, the Rattler also comes with LED lights, interior and exterior. There's LED lights in the gun turret too, which I honestly thought that was a cool touch, so that when the lights are on, it'll light up the turret gunner as well. They made a big deal about saying there's articulated control sticks in the cockpit and the turret. I don't know about you, but I really don't care about that. Multiple bomb and missile loadouts so that you can sort of customize the payload that you want to put on the wings of the Rattler. Plus there are numerous blast effects. There's of course the afterburner effects to come out of the engines. And there are multiple points of opening engine compartments so you can see like the engines. There is a side panel that'll open up that'll show you the belt feed for the nose gun, for the chain gun in the Rattler. There's also going to be the panel on the side. I don't know if I have a photo of that to show you, but there's like the vintage line. There's the gunfire damage panel on the side right there that can be swapped out for a clean panel, which I think that's a cool touch. Makes me wonder if there's going to be another one on the tail and they just didn't show it yet. And then there is a flight stand that the flight stand itself is static. And there's a drawer in the flight stand that you can store the blast effects and the missile effects and everything in. I appreciate that. The stand itself is static, but there is a in-between piece that will go between the Rattler and the stand that is angled so that the Rattler can either be doing a dive, can be taking off, or it can be on the side banking. It's not a pivoting ball stand like the Sky Striker is, but I think that's a nice touch that you can have it either level or at different angles. The figure that he comes with, obviously, is Wild Weasel. And Wild Weasel looks good. He looks cool. Don't get me wrong. I really liked Wild Weasel in the vintage line. And yeah, I think he looks good. You can take his helmet off, which is kind of surprising because I thought that there was a time in the comic when his helmet came off. But when I was on a live stream months ago, it was mentioned that, like, you never saw Wild Weasel's helmet come off. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, they're right. I don't think you ever have seen Wild Weasel's face. Now you do. The helmet and the mask comes off. I think it's kind of cool that it's two pieces, just like a flight helmet should be. And he has the scar coming down. And then he has another helmet that you can put on that has that side of the helmet blown away where you can see the scar. And I appreciate that because that is very much a nod to that dogfight comic between him and Ace when his helmet got shot open. And it just looked, it was a cool visual in the comic, and it's going to look cool on the figure right here. So I'm digging Wild Weasel. Now let's talk about the tiers. Okay, that 9,000 to back. The first tier is unlocked at 11,000 backers, and it's patches. It's 3 Cobra flight patches for like your jacket or your backpack or something. This obviously has not been well received. There have been some people that are like, so what, who cares? We're getting the Rattler anyway. Why be upset about this? And I'll tell you why. Because it's patches. It's something that should have been just part of the base sell. Honestly, it really should have. This is not a good tier for something this high end. If this was a Kickstarter and it was an indie company and they were just trying to put things in there to incentivize people, yes, then you can get away with that. For something like the HasLab, it's Hasbro. They're not struggling. Like, they know this is going to get funded. First tier really, really should have been built up a little bit more than this. These, honestly, I feel, should have been part of the initial offering. Our second tier is at 14,000 backers, and that is the Cobra Rattler Gunner. That this is your co-pilot, this is the dude that's going to be in the turret, or if you are getting multiples, this could also be just like your pilot for another fighter. I think he looks cool. I like that he still has the red mask. I like that the helmet, he has his own helmet with his own like insignia on it, and the helmet and the face mask combo. I think that looks cool. When it's together, it kind of looks like a repainted version of Wild Weasel's helmet, giving the impression that this is just what Cobra pilot helmets look like. I think that's a really cool touch. And I think he looks good. I do. I'm not horribly excited about him, but as far as like just a generic troop builder to go along with this, I think he looks cool. Truthfully though, I feel like this should have been the first tier. The third and final tier at 18,000 backers, so basically doubling your base, is the Pilot Baroness. And we kind of figured that there was going to be a Baroness to go along with this. And she has her own helmet, which I appreciate. It's not like the other two pilot helmets. Hers is more rounded. Once again, she has her own heraldry on top, which I think is cool. All of them having their own heraldry, to me, so much goes back to like Red Squadron at the end of Star Wars. I thought that was really cool. I like that touch that they all have their own look to them. She comes with new hair sculpts. One of them is where she has all that mane of hair just up in a bun, which I think looks really cool. She also has some flight gear, like she does just have a headset with a mic on it if you don't want to put the helmet on her, if she's just like maybe in the back turret right there. She comes with her classic rifle, which I feel like this should have been released with the retro card figure, or at the very least with the Crimson Strike Force that came out last year. Having this come out as part of her pilot persona doesn't quite add up. Excuse me. Getting a little dry there. Sorry about that. And finally, if you've ever seen me do a review of female figures, I really hate when they do the exaggerated, like combat wedges or boots, things like that. And here they gave her stiletto heels. That annoys me. What's up with that? Her flight suit is all blue. She comes with like flight gear on top. I'm curious if you can take that flight gear off, if it looks like just like a classic Baroness with a blue paint app instead of black or crimson, and if she has the Cobra logo up front. At the time that I'm recording this, I couldn't find any photos of her without the flight harness on. If there are any, I'll put them right here, but I don't think there are. And that is our Cobra Rattler. And I'm going to be honest, this is the first Cobra HasLab, or Cobra. This is the first Classified HasLab. I don't know if I'm going to back it. And I'm not saying that to say, this is junk, you shouldn't do it. No, if you want it, if anybody wants it, by all means, go ahead and get it. I'm not going to be surprised if it's not funded, or I'm not going to be surprised if it's funded when I wake up in the morning and we see that new number right here. But for me, there's a couple of things about this. First of all, as far as the figures go, really the only one I care about is Wild Weasel, to be completely honest. And let's not kid ourselves. Once this finally gets released in 2025, December of 2025, you're going to be able to buy Wild Weasel for like $100 to $125 on the aftermarket on eBay. Let's be real about that. And I know, like, that's basically like, you're buying from scalpers. Yeah, but I would rather pay $100 just for that figure, $100, $125 just for that figure, than spending $325 on something that I'm largely not excited about. And I'm just not excited about this. Like, I was kind of excited about the Dragonfly, and quite honestly, it was the figures that made me want to get the Dragonfly. But the Cobra Gunner, I really don't care about. He looks cool. He would be great to add into the Rattler if I have the Rattler. But other than that, I don't really care about him. I was hoping for another Baroness, an updated Baroness with double jointed arms and double jointed elbows. And I think having her classic rifle along with it is cool. But that's not the Baroness that I wanted. That's not the Baroness that I'm excited about. I dig the new head sculpts and hair sculpts, but I honestly, like, those boots just drive me crazy. Like, I think that looks ridiculous. And then the poses they put her in, come on, what's this pinup stuff? It's the Baroness. So, like, I'm still not really excited about that. At this point, I'm honestly thinking about buying a Crimson Strike Force, another Crimson Strike Force Baroness, repainting her arms, and just doing an arm swap with the Cobra Island Baroness that I have to just get the version that I want. And it's smaller. Like, not by much, I understand that, but it's smaller than the Dragonfly, and it costs more money. Like, going over that $300 mark, quite honestly, is one of the things that's doing it for me. I don't know what you think. Like, let me know what you think. And then the other thing with the Dragonfly is you got more figures. You got Wild Bill, we got Glenda, we got Ripcord, and we got Crazy Legs. 4 figures. With this, we're only getting 3 and some patches. Like, that was the other thing that, like, I'm not saying the patches was a make or break for me. It was all of this stuff wrapped up together. And just as a full disclosure, I understand that this may make me slightly hypocritical, because I'm sitting here debating whether or not I'm going to spend $300 on Tiamat from Super 7. But I feel like the main difference there is I'm more excited about Tiamat. I know $300 for a giant vinyl dragon is a lot, but I'm genuinely excited about Tiamat. I'm not really excited about the Rattler. And Super 7 has payment plan options so that, like, you can pay, like, I think, like, with what I qualify for, I would be paying something like $26 a month until it's paid off. With this, you're dropping $325 right off the bat. This does have 46 days. So, This will be closing out, I think, the beginning of September. So we have a lot of time left. That's another reason why I'm not going to be surprised that this will get funded. There is so much time between now and then that enough people will jump in, enough people will get it, and enough people will fund it. I'll be curious to see, though, if they get Baroness, to be completely honest. I don't doubt that it'll be funded, but I'm wondering if this is going to be another Sky Striker scenario where, yes, it's cool and people will like it, but not enough will go in on it. Because it does go back to my original issue that this is a lot of shelf space, even with the wings folded back. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to. I have time to think about it. Let me know what you think. Honestly, I am very curious to hear what people think about the Rattler. Be kind to each other. Just because you don't like it or you don't want it doesn't mean everybody needs to, like, just ignore this. Like, I understand people being excited about it and people wanting it, but let me know what you think. Comment down below. I'm genuinely curious what people think, and I would love to start a dialogue about this just to get a feel for, like, what everyone thinks of this. Hello, before you click away, please remember to do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you already did subscribe, big thanks to you. If you like the show and you want to help the channel grow, please consider becoming a YouTube member or a monthly coffee subscriber, where for $1 a month, you can get access to member benefits, such as the monthly members exclusive video. This month, it is the Fig 016 scale Cobra Commander. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.